I went through a very long and painful process of determining which headsets should replace my Sennheiser PC8s. Those Sennheisers did a wonderful job for a very long time, and I got them caught on something, and like an idiot I didn't gently remove them. I gave it a yank and ripped the wires inside, and well, that's that. So the hunt went to the Wirecutter article, which says the Jabra 550 Duo is the king, and by quite a stretch, although the next one under it was Microsoft LX6000, which sounded pretty good too. I've had the LX3000s, and they are deservedly poorly reviewed. They just have a lot of muffled sound, and Wirecutter said the same thing. Everybody says it. They're crap. Don't buy them. Not for Skype. But on the other hand, the Jabras are supposed to be crystal clear, blah, 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 you know, really good. So that's a pair of Jabras right there. Microphone is long and very flexible. So really good for being able to bend at your will around your mouth, that sort of thing. The earphones are very flexible. You can, there's almost no pressure, yet they do grip. These things are so light. I think they're 2.6 ounces. They're so light that I was disconcerted when I put them on. They just don't feel like they'll stay on, and in fact they're very difficult to adjust to your ears. At least they were to mine. I did find after a little while I got comfortable with them, and they're very comfortable to wear, as they are touted for obvious reasons. They just don't weigh anything, and the grip is just right. There's no pressure. You're going to be able to wear them forever, assuming they'll stay on your ears. Of course, if you move around a lot and catch that wire, well, that's a problem. What I really like about these is how thin this wire is. It weighs nothing, so you don't really feel it dragging off the back. Now, if you look here, you'll see it's got volume controls, and it's got answer and hang up button, and that's mute. So a simple to reach mute button, and it lights. When it's lit, it's muted. When it's not lit, it's off. So again, lit, muted, not lit, off. So the UC voice, Unified Communications voice, nice unit. The Microsoft version of this headset is a little more expensive, and you don't need it because it's for Skype for business. So that was one of the things that really bugged me. I couldn't quite figure out which one I should buy. It took me an extra few days of research to stumble on an article that talked about that. Actually, sorry, it wasn't an article. It was, I think, the Jabra site, but if you have to dig a bit deep. However, when I put them on and started recording with them, I found they have a high-pitched sibilance on the S. And it sounds like I have a lisp, which I frankly don't find very flattering. So I went out and bought, well, by the way, they cost me 73 bucks, and they were delivered in a day by Amazon Canada, so that was cool. But I thought, well, okay, give these a try. This is another well-reviewed one. It won a different company's test, and I forget who it was, Trusted Reviews or something like that. Probably not them, but somebody with a little bit more methodology. And they said that the king was this one, in fact, especially for the price. They also said that the 550s were excellent, but they put them fifth because they're so expensive. I'm not sure that's a fair, you know, assessment of those of us who live on Skype for hours every day, but okay, cool. So the Logitechs are good looking headphones. Ear cups are larger. Big difference here is that's tight. So they grip your head really well. When they're on your ears, they're on your ears. It's not going anywhere, but you will feel it eventually, there's no doubt. Microphone is not flexible. It's a solid chunk of plastic, but it happens to be curved perfectly, I find. So it catches the audio just as well as the Jabra does. So the only difference I found in the sound, which you're going to hear in a moment, was that the Jabra is a fuller sound. There's a bit of thinness to the Logitech H390, but the thinness is easy for me to repair in the Sony Movie Studio, which I would run every video through if I'm recording. For Skype, it doesn't matter. Thinner can be better because you don't want a lot of body traveling out there. It's just harder. It can muffle things, so you want a little bit more dry presentation, and these are a little drier, so they're actually quite good. Now, significant difference. The cord weighs a lot. Not the part coming off the headphone, that's a thin wire, but that monster coming off the remote here is thick, huge, heavy. You can feel that dangling. It is really noticeable. Now, that, however, is a really nice control. Volume control and up and down. I don't think there's an answer button on this. It's not meant to be unified communications. But it has a really nice mute button, and it lights and flashes, so you can't really miss it. I'm not sure if it's being picked up. Hopefully it will show up on the video. But it's, let's see. There, it's flashing muted, and lit is on. So it's more, that's actually more of a standard protocol. You expect lit to be in a call and flashing to be muted, but whatever, it doesn't matter a whole lot. Okay. So between the two of them, like I said, I'm having a lot of trouble deciding which to keep. The Logitech cost me $44. Best Buy were real sports about it and price matched Canada Computers. Amazon also had it, Amazon Canada, for 45 Canadian. That's really cheap. That's like 32, 33 bucks US. Really, that's a really inexpensive set of headphones in my opinion. And they are certainly competing very well with the $72 or $73 Jabras, which of course would be about 50, 55 American right now-ish. So anyway, I'd say that for the difference of 20 US or 30 Canadian, that's quite a competition. I may just save the money. I really like the body in the Jabras, but anyway, I'll let you decide actually.
All right, so I'm wearing the Jabras, and you can see my face is sort of visible. I don't have good lighting in here, and just gonna have to live without that. So I will turn my face this way. Is it gonna work? I don't know, maybe not. Um, Here's the microphone of the Jabra. It fits really well. I can adjust it away. I can adjust it close. Not sure if you saw that. The Jabra sound, like I said, I thought it had too strong sibilance. I mean, my voice does have some sibilance anyway, so it's possible that that's an issue. But I find the Logitech less emphasizes that. We'll see in a moment. This is the Jabra. You'll hear the Logitech just in a minute. And so I find the voice is very full for inexpensive headset. Now, 72 bucks isn't really inexpensive, but it's not terrible if you use it for say 3 years. I think, $2 a month is not the worst thing to rent a decent set of decent headset if you spend a lot of time on Skype, as I do. Who doesn't these days? So, I actually like this headset. It feels very light. It is sort of gripping well, although, if you, well, I find, for example, when I want to adjust, where did it go? When I want to adjust this thing, just by touching this cord, it's pulled this half off my ear. That is actually pretty annoying. For the hundredth or thousandth time it does it, I would probably find it annoying. So, but this is very light. Otherwise, you can not notice that. You forget you're wearing them almost. You can't really forget having this on, but really doesn't weigh anything. So I'll give the Jabra, like for ergonomics and for the feel and for the audio, it's probably a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's really that good. But at the same time, those tiny little annoyances, the 1 out of 10 that, this thing keeps pulling away because it won't stay because it doesn't, there's no grip. It's very flexible up here. That's minor, but it can get to you. Other than that, I guess it doesn't really have any problems. You're hearing the audio. If the S is not too bad, if the sibilance isn't bad, I'm not processing this audio at all. Unlike the audio you heard before this, which was incredibly heavily processed to try to take the HVAC system out. And remember, it was the camera audio, it was the GX85's own audio, which is a crappy omnidirectional mic that's trying to pick everything up, and it's doing a darn good job of picking everything up. So this is noise canceling. Actually, I'm going to do a couple tests here. I have a device commonly called flashlight, but in this case, loud noisemaker. So I don't know if it's really a significant problem, but I'm tapping it on the desk and it's pretty loud. I can hear. I don't know what you can hear. I'm gonna be listening to it in a moment myself, and I obviously won't comment on it because, well, that would be retro, or no, not retro. That would be meta, breaking the fourth wall and all that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop that now because that's annoying even me. That's it for the Jabra. I hope you enjoyed the Jabra test. I'm going to do the Logitech H390 in just a moment. And this is the Logitech H390. Pretty fine sounding headset, although I did notice there is a large amount of hum. Well, maybe not large. I'm not sure what you're hearing. I'll check it on the video later, but the hum is quite annoying, but is easily removed, which I'll show you. Possibly starting right now. Let's say that's where I'll do it. And that's really just cutting in a like what you do is you cut the event, which is what they call a clip. Cut it in right at that spot, and then you put an audio track FX grouping of adjustments on it, and all I would do is just take the bottom, I don't know, 200 hertz out or 100 hertz. Got to watch out with the male voices because there is some depth. The voices go low, even though mine is kind of a mid-range. But there's a lot of low component in it. So I'm not sure if you're hearing whether or not the S's sound better on this or the Jabra. Tough call, really. I may just juxtapose a couple of them going back and forth. We'll see. I don't really know whether it'll be needed. I'm leaning pretty heavily now towards keeping the Jabra and taking these Logitechs back to Best Buy. And the reason, there's a couple of reasons. One, there were some reports of early failure on the H390s. I do like them and they sound fine, but I'm having trouble getting them to maintain a loud kind of presentation. You have to screw around with them quite a bit when you move them from port to port. Maybe that's just a USB thing, I don't know. They keep changing their settings, but anyway, the Jabra have been very nice sounding. I do have to say though, here, hang on, Control Alt V. Let's move this over here. I do have to say, let's try not to blast that into the thing. So I do have to say I like the way the microphone here presents itself. It's held out to the side. You probably noticed on the Jabra that I was puffing into the wraparound microphone quite a bit, so I'll be recording with it more outward rather than like right here in front. It's very bad news to do that. And you're not supposed to do it. They actually tell you that on the Microsoft mic training thing. So what I like here on this one though is that it well, okay, what I like about it is the grip. Grip's really nice. I can grab this and it doesn't pull that away as it did on the Jabra, which is annoying. What I dislike is this incredibly heavy cord. It weighs a ton. You really will feel it. It's surprising. Still, it's 30 bucks cheaper. If you want a quick 45 bucks, or in the States 30 bucks or 28 or whatever you pay, really surprisingly low. This is a really good set of headphones if they survive. They should, but like I said, there have been reports that some of them die early. Then again, every piece of electronics dies early sometimes. The Jabra certainly can do that too. But there are no reports of it. So my guess is they have a bit more built-in longevity because they cost more. Not always an indicator, but I think it is with the really cheap electronics. But ultimately, I think you're going to have to decide based on what you're comfortable with. The lighter and smaller ear cups of the Jabra work really well. You don't hardly feel them. I actually feel these. I can feel them pinching my ears just a little. Not a big deal. Into my third 1-hour call of a morning might become a big deal. I don't know. But the results of this, I'll actually put it at the very end of the video. What I concluded and what I did. I haven't fully decided now. Once I edit this video, I will be able to decide quite easily. I hope.
This is me being optimistic that it's going to be an easy choice.